Everyone, welcome to a live edition of the Chargers post-game playoff loss to the Houston Texans, 32-12 final score. It's a damn beatdown is what it is. It's a damn beatdown. I don't know if I feel worse. I'll tell you right now, I don't feel as bad as I did against the Jacksonville Jaguars a few years ago. I will say this as a reminder, the last time the Chargers won a playoff game was 2018. It's been a long time. We're talking just winning a playoff game, not even a Super Bowl appearance, not one of those, but it's a devastating loss. And we discussed it when the season started. No matter what the Chargers do when the season comes to an end, it's going to be hard to take because you're going to get your hopes up. But I think we all thought, most Charger fans, most football fans, even Vegas thought the Chargers would get by the Texans today. That's why they were favored by 3 on the road. They were supposed to win this game today. Completely S the bed and lose 32-12 and play one of your most embarrassing games. I'd say it's the worst game of the year, worse than the Buccaneers game. But this game today and the way this season ends, talk about a bad taste in your mouth. And I'll give you a positive right here, Josh, before you lose your mind and Mario and everyone in the comments lose their mind. I hope the deficiencies showed enough to the front office to say this is why you need to spend the money that you have available to you, which is a ton, on free agents, and you have major holes to fix. Like, even though the Chargers have so much money to spend, that you have major problems on your offensive line. You have major problems still on your defense, obviously stopping the run. You have major problems, with Fulton, and you can go on and on. You have wide receivers that don't want to play outside of Ladd. You can replace all of them. Why we talked about getting a guy like Brock Bowers, all the stuff that we discussed throughout the season. There's major deficiencies, and they need to spend a lot of money, and they need to draft extremely well because this team is far away from winning a Super Bowl.
Who's got it better than us?
Everybody.
Everybody's
Houston
talking
Texans.
trash. Everybody's talking trash.
Everyone. I mean, we all see it. If you're on social media, you see Dave Portnoy talking about Justin Herbert. You see everybody slandering Justin Herbert and Greg Roman and this Chargers team. How can you defend Justin Herbert and this Chargers team? Like, as a fan, where do we even start with today's game? Let's start at the very beginning. Okay, Mario? The very beginning couldn't have gone better, right? Chargers move down the field and then we get stopped. Field goal. That's fine, right? Get 3 points on the first drive. Then first play for the Texans. John Mechie fumbles on Gilman, strip fumble, right? Derwin picks it up. Wow, right? This could be an ass kicking, Mario. Another field goal. Okay. All right. You don't want to have 2 field goals, but we scored twice. And then from there, everything went downhill. Everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. There's one guy on this whole team, in my opinion, Mario, you can't be mad at. That's Ladd McConkey. He has 197 yards. 197 yards. QJ. 0. Will Disley, the guy that's been better than he's supposed to be this year, forgets how to catch. Offensive line, like Dave said, couldn't block anybody. Justin Herbert was rattled out there. He's seeing ghost. Everything went bad for the Chargers. Greg Roman, no creative play design. Everything went bad from those 6 points to the end of the game, Mario.
Like, even a third of the game sucked. Our special teams got dominated today. I mean, absolutely rocked. A blocked punt, a blocked extra point that leads to 2 points that just takes all the momentum away. Every aspect of this game, I mean, we just got bent over and took it. It was just a brutal game to watch for the Chargers. And, I know a lot of people are ripping on Herbert, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, they should. He did not play well today at all. The across-the-body throw to Quinton Johnston in double coverage was a terrible pass. Terrible time to do it right after we get an interception where it's like, all right, we got back-to-back field goals, but maybe, if we score here, that could really put the Texans down in the hole. We give the ball right back to them. We lose the momentum. We get their fans back in the stadium, back in the game. We did everything we could to not win this game today. And Dave, we talked about it all offseason. This receiving core sucks. There's one guy. And what did they do all day today? They dropped everything in sight, Dave. I think it's, you mentioned it. That position needs to be the sole focus going into this offseason is receiver and nothing more.
All right, man. Here's the deal. Everyone who sat there and had a brag about how great QJ was after the Raider game, What are you guys looking at, man? It is what it is. I mean, come on. Do you think this whole thing has been a farce? He stinks, dude. And I got worse for you. He's soft. He's soft, man. I mean, that last drop ball at the end because he was afraid he was going to get hit in a circumstance that obviously he didn't think he could change the outcome of the game and kind of zero effort. Dude, you're getting paid. Don't go on the field. It's complete embarrassment. I mean, there are guys during this game where I'm like, can you cut a guy in the third quarter? Like, you're sitting there going, what the hell's happening right now? But dude, QJ, I want everybody to remember what happened today when you needed him most. The fact that Ladd had the game he had when QJ gave you nothing is unbelievable. QJ literally gave you nothing. He was a complete disappointment all the way around in 20 different directions. And yet everyone's going, no, this is why they drafted him. You guys all fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. He's done one thing in 2 years. Complete disappointment. Mario can't even get a hold of himself right now. He's having a coughing attack. He's so upset. Okay?
Yeah,
look what this created. Dude, QJ's a joke. I mean, I could literally sit there. I'm laughing at some of the comments here when people are just literally writing, this guy effed us. Dude, I would be the guy that literally I want to walk down the aisle of the airplane and going, you effed us, you effed us, you effed us. You know who didn't? Derwin James. Derwin James played like it was his last game ever. I mean, Derwin James gave you everything you possibly could. Guess what? Tony Jefferson did too. That might have been his last game. But man, when you're sitting there saying I can only point to a few guys that you said those guys stepped up when the team had nothing, but hey, this could be my last game attitude. It was just a few. And as soon as the Texans got momentum and believing they could win, it was over. It was completely over. The turnaround was amazing, and we all knew they couldn't stop it. I mean, even when we knew they were going to run the ball just around the clock, we couldn't stop it. It felt like an overmatched high school team playing against, a team that has no chance. It was ridiculous what we were watching today. It was a terrible way to go out.
As much as I'm upset with all the players, except for like Derwin James and Henley and Ladd, like, where's Greg Roman? Like, during the week, what is Greg Roman doing, Mario? Like, just chilling? Like, no game plan whatsoever? Hey, how about this game plan? We're going to let Will Anderson and Donnell Hunter and anybody who wants to rush Justin Herbert just tee off on him, okay? There's not going to be any extra blockers in there. We're going to throw the ball to QJ for 1 yard when you need to, right? I couldn't even believe that happened. And there's just absolutely no creativity whatsoever. No run design, play creativity. And also, if the run game's not there, you know what you do? You stop calling the run, Mario. You just stop, okay? It's not going to work. Justin Herbert was really, really bad today, but the offensive line was just as bad, and the receiving core outside of Ladd was worse. Greg Roman did him no favors as well. The offense as a whole was terrible. I thought the defense did enough to win this game. They were causing turnovers. They were doing their thing. We should have scored at least 10 points in the first 2 drives, but we didn't. And everything just went wrong. The Justin Herbert slander this offseason is going to be incredibly loud. And as Charger fans, I don't know how you defend him. I mean, like I said, it's not completely his fault, but he didn't really help himself either. 4 interceptions today. 2 of them were just absolutely unbelievable.
And Disley did him no favors on that last one. I mean, dude, catch the freaking football. And on that 3rd and long, I couldn't believe that. The only guy near him was God. And he just go ahead and drops that pass. Like, dude, that's an easy pitch and catch. Like, what are you doing? That's routes on air, if anything. And, you mentioned the Quinton Johnston, the 4th and 2 route. It is one-on-one NFL receiver. Always beware of yardage and always beware of the sticks. Dave, he went 0 for 2 on that. And it was on a 3-yard route. I understand if it's like 15-yard route, you're like, maybe you cut off at 12. You're like, all right, well, you're like a little off. But that close, really? How? Just how? How, man? How does that happen? And on top of that, why do we think he's going to beat an all-pro corner? Why? Who thought that was a good idea? Like,
nobody beats Derek Stingley. Nobody beats Derek Stingley, but we're gonna throw it to DJ Chark because he has a chance. It's the stupidest. Oh my God. I almost threw up, Mario. I'm sorry cutting you off. Like, why?
No.
Like, don't even do it.
Don't even do it. It makes 0 sense. I was just like, why? Why do that? Because there's no safety over top? Cool. They shouldn't. There shouldn't be anyone near him. He should be on an island. Like, put him on Epstein's island. I don't know. Like, it's easy. Christ almighty.
The play was ridiculous. You're absolutely right to what Mario was saying, because I'm watching people on Twitter who are saying, man, what a terrible play by Herbert. Dude, QJ needs to go the right down and distance. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You got to go to the first down. Everybody knows that. And I kept thinking of Tony Romo and Kellen Moore a year ago. This is what they were talking about, of not knowing the route. It makes zero sense. There's no way that's the play to sit there and go 1 foot, not the yardage you need for the first down. Doesn't make any sense. It's not the reason they lost, but it sure as hell didn't help. It sure as hell didn't help. There's so many things that went wrong, and I will go back to what I said at the beginning of the year when this team started winning. You don't need to print this roster out. You can just sit there and you can look it up. The 2024 Chargers roster, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was our roster. It's amazing they went 11-6 because they showed. Today they showed in a situation when you're in the playoffs and everything matters that this roster is not a good roster. It's not a good team. Okay. Justin Herbert, again, for anyone that wants to take shots at him because he's free reign, it's tough being a public figure. It's tough being a quarterback in the league when things don't go your way, especially when you've never won a postseason game. Man, this is a tough one. I mean, this is a long time where you're going to have to sit there and listen to what the hell. And I almost think, the Tua fans out there who are saying, hey, back off our guy a little bit because your guy hasn't done jack. And guess what? Even though Justin Herbert led the team to 11 wins this year, it feels like he didn't do anything. That's how it feels because the performance today, 32-12. What the hell? What just happened here? You can point the finger right at the quarterback for your non-football fans. Yeah. And CJ Stroud looked great.
CJ Stroud looks pretty good. CJ Stroud looked terrible at the beginning, but he did something, Mario, that we've been calling for all season for Justin Herbert. What is it? He used his legs. The Chargers have no chance in the playoffs if Justin Herbert doesn't use his legs, and he doesn't. You can put that on Greg Roman. You can put that on Justin Herbert. The old Dan Fouts line from Waterboy. You got nothing to hold back here. You got to, go for it. Justin Herbert, there's no tomorrow, right? From Rocky. I'm just throwing out movie quotes now. There's really no tomorrow if you lose today. So why not use your legs? You're faster than people give you credit for. Get outside the pocket. Do some play action passes. You obviously have no time within the pocket, right? They're just teeing off on Justin Herbert. Let's get him outside of the pocket and have him throw on the run or use his legs and run the ball. It's just very basic football. I don't understand that. And there's an elephant in the room, Mario. It's in the chat here. I've seen 100 comments about this certain person. I literally ripped hair out of my head watching number 7 on the Chargers today. Christian Fulton sucks. With a capital S, he sucks. I have no idea why you would ever have him on Nico Collins. He's not covering anyone. I got into an argument on Twitter about a guy saying, well, I'd rather have Christian Fulton than Asante Samuel Jr. My ass. Asante Samuel Jr. can't tackle, but he can cover. Christian Fulton can tackle. That's great. He's tackling guys 40 yards down the field after they catch the ball on him. Christian Fulton should never see the field as a Charger ever again. And I don't think we will see him. That's a positive as a Charger fan you can take away from this game. Hopefully we never see Christian Fulton in a Chargers uniform ever again.
I'll take you one step further on the Fulton. Even his tackling sucked today. Like there's multiple times he just ran straight up field, mixed in just one jab step, and he's right by him. I'm like, holy hell, man. Were you even going for him, or were you just like, I just feel like sprinting. I just want to sprint outfield. It reminded my nephew. Like he's just like, looks at me. I just got to run. Like, buddy, just go freaking run. You're 5. I don't know what to tell you. That's what I felt like with Fulton today. He played a terrible game. There's also something I want to touch on just Roman and this offensive side of the football. When the Texans go, first 5 drives, 54 yards and 2 turnovers. Then that 6th drive, they score a touchdown. They go 99 yards. The Chargers get the ball back. We have a chance to put up points before going to the half. This drive made absolutely no sense to me. They go 3 for 3 on just home run deep balls. We suck at deep balls. We're not good at it. We don't have anyone that can attack the football. We have no one that creates separation downfield. We have no one that's big enough that can, out-muscle the corner on a 50-50 football. We just don't have that. That's something the Chargers are missing. Have to address this offseason. Why are we going for it in that moment? We also had 2 timeouts, and there's more than 50 seconds left. Why not go for something quickly on the football? Go for something quick again. Then maybe take a shot downfield. Okay? We have 2 timeouts. Quick pass, get out of bounds. I just did not understand that play calling at all. It was like Dave, it felt like in that moment we were throwing like we were down 14 with 50 seconds left with no timeouts instead of, hey, we're literally down 1 and we're going into the half and we have 2 timeouts with a very good quarterback. Like, what are we doing? That was a complete failure of coaching by Harbaugh and Roman. Just unaware of the situation, unaware of the moment, and it really hit the Chargers. That middle 8, man. I mean, that's something Notre Dame's been taking advantage of in their college football playoff. The middle 8 today that the Chargers put up was absolutely terrible.
Well, the Chargers gave up, 10 points in 58 seconds or something? I mean, to end the half. I mean, that's a lot of work right there. I mean, you're sitting there, you have momentum, you have a chance to go into the half with the shutout. Even though you aren't scoring touchdowns, you have a chance to go in and say, okay, our defense is dominating. Completely gave the Texans all the momentum, and then you think, well, hey, the Chargers have to fix this. Well, the Chargers don't get the kickoff to start the second half, and it just continued to get worse. I mean, in a huge fashion, it was just like a tidal wave that the Chargers couldn't stop. Everything went bad. I mean, as you mentioned, you have the amazing 89-yard touchdown play, 86-yard touchdown play to Ladd, and we blow the extra point, and then we embarrass ourselves by the two hands spiked the ball in the ground, picked up, run back for 2 points. That was nuts. I mean, they didn't know the rules. Josh and I are sitting there watching the game together. We're like, dude, do they understand this is a live ball? Is the guys running all the way down the field, and like that's 2 points. Cameron Dicker got the S knocked out of him on the play, but it was,
oh my God,
it was completely ridiculous. I keep thinking back. Remember Sean Payton, where he's like, "Oh, we know the rules," and I'm like, I don't think we know the rules. Remember the Broncos obviously did not know the rules, and we're laughing because Sean Payton refuses to admit he's ever wrong. But extremely, extremely frustrating. It's sad because you have to wait so long to play your next game, and you got to think about this for a long time. I'm frustrated because I expected a win. I know I expected a win in the Jacksonville game a few years ago. That one to me was more unbelievable, devastating. But a loss is a loss. When your season comes to an end, it completely stinks because now you got to sit there and watch everyone else play, and you're going to watch every playoff game from here on out going, are we better than that team? Could we have taken out the Chiefs? If the Ravens and Bills take each other out, could there have been an opportunity for this team to make a run? In all honesty, I didn't expect this team to make a run to the Super Bowl, but I did want to see the Chargers play the Chiefs again. I did. I just thought it was a good matchup for the Chargers. We aren't going to get that now, and this team has a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm kind of curious on the flight home to Los Angeles where Jim Harbaugh is sitting and where Joe Ortiz is sitting and what they're talking about, right? I mean, how is it just not a topic of conversation for that 3.5-hour flight of, dude, here's our roster, man, and just, as we say, red marking. You're just red marking guys off the team, and unfortunately, that's what they are. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be honest. Will Dissly was a big disappointment today, Josh, but they've relied on Will Dissly a lot. But why was Will Dissly honestly brought here? When they signed him, why was he brought here?
Well, dude, because Hayden Hurst was supposed to be that guy, but Hayden Hurst was nowhere to be found all season.
That's my point. That's my point. It's ridiculous. Everything's just put together with like paper mache, man. It falls apart easy. It's insane.
When you're talking about the flight back to Los Angeles, it has to be like the scene in Forrest Gump where nobody's going to allow Greg Roman to sit next to them. Like, no, seat's taken. Yeah. Seat's taken. You can't sit here, Greg. Like this, there's no chance, dude. I got a question for both of you guys. We'll start with Mario first. Is Greg Roman retained for next season?
Oof. God, that's tough, especially after this game. Look, I'm going to say he still gets retained because I think they want a consistent earpiece in Herbert's ear, and that would be what, the 4th OC in 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is. I'd say he stays on for one more because, like I said, this is a building block, Dave, and I think they go, we add more talent. We'll see where it goes from there. We can improve. I would say 60-40 he stays if I had to get a percentage.
I say he's coming back too, Josh. I mean, if Brian Dable was fired by the Giants, that's who we all wanted, right? But I think he's coming back. I just don't think they're gonna blow him out. I mean, I can almost make. I was never a fan of Greg Roman, even when they hired him. But my point is, just like the argument on, said, well, what did he have to work with? Like, what tools did you have we all know the offensive tools are terrible on this Charger team. I mean, even the running back situation, Gus Edwards wasn't the player they thought they were going to get. J.K. Dobbins was healthier than he usually is. But at the same time, it's just he hasn't had anything to work with. I mean, you have major issues. I mean, I think, look, Justin Herbert's your starting quarterback, right? We're all really upset with Justin Herbert today, but everybody loves Justin Herbert. I mean, I even saw this morning, I was out driving around, believe it or not, 5 a.m, and I saw a guy wearing a Justin Herbert jersey. And I was like, there you go. That guy's ready for the game today. I thought that was kind of cool. That guy's ready for the game. Did you got major issues where the guy you drafted in the first round, like, what do you do with QJ? You can't really trade him. You can't really cut him. I mean, what are your plans for QJ?
Okay, so where I stand with QJ, first off, I think Greg Roman is retained. I don't think they're going to get rid of him for what Mario said. They're not going to give him another offensive coordinator. At least I don't think that's going to happen. With QJ, dude, you might have to move on because whenever there's a big game, Mario, he disappears. He has good games against teams like the Panthers and against the Raiders in the last week of the regular season when it doesn't mean much. But in the big moments, like the Packers game and this game and any game that means anything, he completely disappears. He goes back to being T-Rex QJ and doesn't extend his arms. I mean, as a refresher, he had 5 targets today, 0 catches. In comparison, Ladd McConkey, our second-round pick, had 9 catches, 197 yards on 14 targets. Our second leading receiver, Mario, was Will Disley with 16 yards. I mean, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do in this situation with QJ.
It's tough. I think you have to keep him around just because it's like you don't have to extend him and it's, like there's no payday incoming for him. And I think he's a solid 3 receiver. That's what he is. He's a solid number 3. He's not a number 2. He's sure as hell not a number 1. He's a fine number 2. And I think this year and in this game, we were asking too much of him. That's what we just were doing. We're asking too much. We're asking him to do more than he could ever do in his career. And that stinks. But shout out to Ladd. That's a rookie record. So he's already put his name in the record book. So shout out to him. Shout out to us for being right about Ladd. We kind of called that if we want to talk about positives really quick. And I know he's been a letdown to us a lot this year, but we got to give credit when credit's due. Bosa played a hell of a game today. He did get an offside penalty, but, drink if that's happened before. I'll say this, Dave. I was really impressed with how he played. He left it all out in the field.
Well, it's his last game as a Charger, so I hope he can live with that. That's the last time you're going to see him in a Charger uniform.
Probably a lot of these guys, man. Like if
a
lot of these guys probably lost games. Yeah,
I think a lot. I mean, I tell you what, you talk about another guy might have played his last game in a Charger uniform. Khalil Mack, 2 sacks, played really hard today, right? Derwin James was great. Poona Ford was great. There's some guys out there that you go played really well. Tony Jefferson was outstanding today. More than likely, Tony Jefferson's last game in the NFL. But I mean, it's they lose. I mean, the only thing that matters is the scoreboard. But I feel like I could literally go down that roster, and I'm sure everyone who's listening right now. And we're going to get to the comments in just a second too. We appreciate everybody that's part of the show right now. Hey, subscribe and like. You can at least give us that. We can get a win that way. But I think a lot of people feel like they could go down that Charger roster and just start cutting guys themselves. And the comment was made here. I'm sorry. I think it was Tom that said it a second ago. They're going so fast. Once they get rid of Bosa, the Chargers will have $110 million to spend on free agents.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I think it's Bosa's last game. The thing that I really don't like is that Thule disappears for half the games of the season, right? He's supposed to really be our top pass rusher if Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa aren't producing. I mean, Khalil Mack, how much are you going to depend on Khalil Mack at the age he is? And Joey Bosa is the shell of what he's supposed to be. You'd expect Thule to make some sort of difference. He just disappears too many times. All right, we're going to go to the chat, Mario, if you don't mind. We're going to start with Kelvin Gaddis. I'm put it up on the screen here.
Oh, sorry. We did it at the same time.
Kelvin Gaddis, $20. He said, thanks for the show all season. Y'all kept it real. See you next year. Just another season of charging it. Been a fan 30 plus years. I'll keep doing it no matter the loss. Trying to stay positive for years to come. We do shows in the off season too, Kelvin. You can join us. We'll cry together all off season.
Yeah, Kelvin, I appreciate the comments as well. We will be back on Tuesday and Thursdays, but thanks to the Chargers, we're now going from 3 shows to 2 shows a week. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Quick, by the way, fast season.
That's fast when your team's winning, right? Last year,
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Oh my God.
It's like,
Last year's
how
cut
many
teeth.
kicks to the nickels could we take?
Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Alan. Says, until Herbert wins, the narrative will never change.
He's right.
Yeah, you're completely right.
Yeah.
What do you think people say about Justin Herbert in the offseason? They're going to say he can't win the big games.
Well, okay, let me ask
It
this
is-
question. Bo Nix loses today. Tomorrow. Let's say that the Broncos, and they're supposed to lose to the Bills. Can you trust an Oregon quarterback? Dan Fouts freaking fell short all the time. He's an Oregon
Marcus
quarterback.
Mariota.
Fucking Achilles,
Joey Harrington.
Achilles Smith.
Joey Harrington.
Under my breath. What? What?
I said Joey
I mean-
Harrington.
Yeah. Can you trust an Oregon quarterback? I mean, come on.
I mean, speaking of narratives too, this was a much needed game for CJ Stroud, right? Like if you're a big CJ Stroud backer, you're a Stroud boy. This was huge for you today. Like he needed this
Back-to-back
win,
seasons.
needed this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy for him. The depleted team.
Yep. Next one comes from Victor Correa, 499, says, was at the game. A lot of Charger fans showed up. Just too bad the team didn't.
You know what? Hats off to you Charger fans who were at the game. There were a ton of them. You could see it on TV. That was pretty cool to see all the Charger fans that were there trying to jump on that and say, hey, I'm supporting my team.
Very
Next
pumped about that.
Next one comes from Young West. He said, Herbert was Oprah out there. You get an interception. You get an interception. Horrible. Offense did not have the defense's back today. Not at all, man. Like I said earlier, I thought the defense, that's funny. Like I said earlier, I thought the defense, Mario, was good enough to win the game.
I completely agree. The defense did everything they could to win the game. The offense didn't even do 10% of what they should have done to win that game. Also, the pick six that was thrown at Ladd. Okay, I understand. Bad throw. But, I don't know. Dave, am I wrong in saying make the freaking play? Make the catch? I'm just saying.
I was over. I was too high. It was too high. I thought it was over.
I'm kind of with
talk to
Mario.
the one where-
I'm kind of with Mario a little bit.
Thank you,
I thought
Josh.
it was. I
saw that go
Ladd-
right through the hand
did-
still.
you thought it
It
was
was a
right
bad
here?
pass
I
that
thought
went through
Ladd,
his hands.
Went
No,
through
it
his
was
think
hand.
here.
so? I thought it was up
Yeah.
there.
On the
I
replay,
thought
went through
Ladd
Ladd's
jumped as high
hands.
as he could. He's tiny.
Yeah,
Just a little guy.
Little fella. He still has hands.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Little ones.
The Texans guy was shocked that the ball hit him. He was as shocked as anybody. But I don't know. I thought Ladd made an effort. Maybe I'm wrong. I got to see it again. But I thought it was over his head.
It was a bullet, too. I mean, he put some. I forget there was a Bears corner that said it back in the day. He goes, I hated picking off Favre because it hurt every time.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh. Sorry. I always thought that was funny.
All right. Next one comes from Cody Worth, 499. He says, it's upfront physicality every time. They did exactly what Tampa did. They assaulted our line, knowing Herbert isn't an improv guy, and it snowballed. Couldn't agree more. The thing that really bothers me about this, Cody, is that I thought we fixed this. Like, I thought the Chargers had a game plan for when this happens, that you're going to bring in Fisk and Matlock and Disley to kind of keep the pressure off. Screw it. We're not going to do that. That's crazy. Why would we bring in more extra blockers for Justin Herbert? This is the also part that bothers me about this. We only throw to one person. So why not take some receivers off the field and just get the extra blockers in there? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Good point.
Also,
Totally
quick
good.
thing too on
All right.
this.
Next one comes from,
just nothing pisses me off more than every time. Oh, Chargers run the football. That's what this team does. They dominate you in the trenches. Like we did that for 2 weeks this year, for being completely honest. And then the rest of the time, it was 50-50, if that.
Victor Correa, 499, says, can you defend Herbert after this? Also, walking out of the stadium, having Texans fan making fun of me made it hurt even more. I feel bad, man. I'm sorry you had to.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel bad for Victor on that one. I mean, you sat there and you made the trek all the way to Houston, which is a dump. And then to sit there and not get the last word as you're walking out of there, that stinks. Like NFL fans are like, hey, man, good game, buddy. It's not like that. It's a lot of you suck and you're an idiot for rooting for that team. And they say horrible things about Herbert, like his family. Yeah, kind of terrible. Again, I was saying that it's tough being a public figure like Justin Herbert, who, if he's smart, he will not look at social media for about the next 6 months. But if you're a fan like all of us, it sucks too. I've gotten 8 million messages from Raider fans already, ripping the hell out of the Chargers. And then someone made a really good point who was a Raider fan. He goes, well, at least with the Raiders, we know our season's over in 3 weeks. Yeah, well, guess what? We get to enjoy the entire season. It sucks that it ends today, but yours ended 3 weeks into the season.
I don't want to hear anything from any Raider fan.
I was about to say, I don't get the Raider trash talk. You're in a terrible spot right now. And you're not getting Vrabel. Vrabel's going to the Pats. And Ben Johnson, by the way, yeah, it was reported by the Boston Globe that they're already in negotiations.
But where's Ben Johnson going?
No, I was going to say, and also you're smoking, something strong if you think Ben Johnson's going to your spot. It's a joke.
No way. Why would he go to that offense?
Nope.
Next one comes from Young West. He said, which loss hurts you guys most, Jacksonville or today? Why do we lose in the weirdest, worst ways possible? The Chiefs don't lose like this. The Chiefs really don't lose at all. And if they do lose, it's definitely not like this. It's exactly what I thought, Mario, at the beginning of the game. The Chiefs would be dominating us if we didn't take advantage of the, short yardage situations and we settled for field goals. You got to score touchdowns. And which loss hurt more is definitely Jacksonville. That does not make me feel better now, though.
I think the Jacksonville, the thing that hurt is because it was like, this is our moment, this is our time, and it's gone. And it's like, I don't know how we're going to recover from that. We're like, this moment right now is just like, oh, this is just the first year of this. It's going to get better, Dave. Like you said, this roster is going to look better.
It's going to look better. The Jacksonville game's so crazy because there's so many people on the East Coast who turned the TV off and went to bed and woke up and said, what the hell just happened? That was crazy about the Jacksonville game. Like, half the country knew what happened, and half the country didn't find out till they woke up the next day. That's how sure it was that the Chargers had that game won. That's the worst. And you know which franchise, by the way, loses like this? The Cleveland Browns. Their franchise loses like this. You look at the Browns' history and all their stupid playoff losses, back-to-back years with the Broncos, to be more accurate. The Browns lose like this. Like, we do not want to be compared to the Browns. The Chargers don't want to be compared to the Browns, right? It's just. It's insane. So no, they both stink. Both losses are absolutely terrible. By the way, Browns fans, we talk about how you don't root for injury. Holy cow! When it came out that Deshaun Watson re-ruptured his Achilles tendon, and people were saying, "Thank God," that was crazy. That's crazy. What's wrong with you?
Next one comes from Quinton. Says, look at you guys, almost at 3,000. Last time I checked, you were stuck at 2.8 thousand subscribers for the longest. Laugh out loud. Everyone, don't forget to subscribe. Just do it now. Yeah, I agree. Do it right now.
Thanks, Q.
Thank you.
Subscribe.
All right, next one comes from Alana Morris. Says, I have no words and so many at the same time. Just thank y'all for being here to hold the space for our collective pain. Gut punch and asterisks.
Alana, you're right.
Change the G to an N. Nut punch. All right, there we go. Blaze 49.99.
I got it right.
Thank you,
dude. Hold on.
Okay, thank you for bringing this up.
Is that weird?
What?
If she wrote nut punch, would that be weird?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
And we've said weird
us,
stuff on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Is it all right
Yeah,
for
you
girl
said
to write nut
Epstein's
punch?
Island like 20 minutes ago.
I didn't.
No,
so we're gonna point fingers now. That's what we do here. Okay.
Yes, it's all we do.
Dude, I said something last show I should have said also. It goes all the way around.
Yeah. I said the F word already during the show. So there you go.
Did you really?
Yeah, it slipped out.
I didn't even catch it.
Blaze 49.99. Thank you. Says the 3rd and 16 before the half that Stroud brought back, made me bring back the Staley days. All went downhill after that. This is an effing disaster, dude. Did you guys see that replay of Christian Fulton just giving up halfway through the play and dropping back like he's playing center field? Like, dude, you are guarding the receiver. What are you doing? We already have safeties back there. I think that was definitely a big change in momentum, that one play on 3rd and 16.
The whole sequence was the end of it. Go ahead, Dave.
No, speaking of pointing fingers, dude, why is Fulton pointing fingers after every play that he blows? He points a finger all the time. I would love to see a safety just walk over and snap his finger and break it. Good dude, I swear to God, what is wrong with you? Stop pointing fingers. Everybody knows that was on you. You were the guy that didn't do his job.
Well, last game is a Charger. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
Next
Hey,
one
good
comes from
news. Number
Kelvin.
7
Says,
jersey's
what year do
available
you
next year.
predict? Yeah. Kelvin says, what year do you predict the Chargers make an AFC championship run? Next year. I think Chargers are definitely going to be good enough to make an AFC championship run next year.
I'm gonna go 2
What does that
years.
mean? Does that mean AFC championship game? Is that what you're saying?
I think maybe. I mean, for the
Yeah.
game, I think 2 years, like Mario, but to be a team that's considered next year.
I'm with you guys. AFC championship next year, Super Bowl the year after. That's where my head is.
Aaron Baker says, from training camp to now, nothing that happened today surprises me. I watch players drop open balls, no one to throw to, but Ladd, he's not a wide receiver one. Dude, I kind of disagree. I think Ladd actually is a wide receiver one. I would have told you 5 weeks ago that Ladd was probably not a wide receiver one. He's just the best option we have. After watching him today, I'm like, dude, this guy might be a legit wide receiver one. He almost had 200 yards.
I don't think you can say he's just not a receiver one anymore. Like today, it was all on him, and he took that responsibility on and more. Especially that play. Like, I know we lost and we sucked, but that touchdown that he had today was actually unbelievable. Like, let's not forget that. Like, that's gonna get forgotten, but let's please try to remember how incredible that was. It's like the Marcus Page North Carolina shot. No one remembers that. It was a hell of a shot. Chris Jenkins. I almost said a cuss word. Eat crap.
All right. Next one comes from Charles Oglesby. Said, best Chargers podcast. Thank you. Thanks for a great season, guys. We need a Pro Bowl running back. We need a lot of things. We need therapy. We need a receiver. We need a tight end that can catch. We need a lot of things, Charles.
Charles, I appreciate the comment right there. I'm asking you guys this. I could save it for another show. I always hate the asking questions of stuff you can't do anything about it now, but I'm going to do it to both you guys. If you could go back to the draft, would you have taken Bowers and Ladd, or would you have taken Alt and Ladd?
Yeah, I'm taking Brock Bowers.
Me too.
Good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Especially when you see we don't have anything else. We just have no offense.
Yeah. I'm taking Bowers and Neighbors.
Really? You're taking Neighbors and Bowers, or Neighbors instead
Neighbors
of Bowers?
or Bowers.
Okay, got it. See, I take the tight end and the wide receiver. I go Bowers and I go Ladd, and then you got all these Bulldog fans that love the Chargers all of a sudden. We're big on the East Coast.
It's working for the Eagles. Every defensive player is a Bulldog, and it works.
You're right.
Next one comes from Guillermo Arcadia Jr. Says, every weakness on the team got exposed. 1, interior offensive line sucks. 2, no receivers besides Ladd. 3, no catching from the tight ends. Couldn't agree more. Everything was exposed today.
Yep.
I blame the yellow pants.
Next one comes from Quinton. Says, yeah, the yellow pants. I knew we were in trouble. Quinton says, it looks like our fan base grew at least. Yeah, I think the fans showed up more this season than they have in a while. All right. Yeah, I agree with this one too. Mike G says, if Herbert acts like a robot in the press conference, I'm going to lose my mind.
Get ready.
Be honest. I would love for Justin Herbert to be he's going to be a robot. He's going to be a robot, but I wish he would just let it loose. Same with Jim Harbaugh. He's so over the top optimistic. I would love for him to be like, Christian Fulton sucks. QJ, what? This guy sucks. I would love for that.
One-liner of the year right there, Dave.
Better start stretching. It's going to happen.
Stephanie Chamberlain says, going 11-6 and being in the playoffs was a surprise. This is the worst we looked under Harbaugh. Thank you for the laughs and vent session. Much needed. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate that.
Stephanie, appreciate
Much
that.
love.
No, this was extremely disappointing. We were shocked, right, by the Tampa Bay game. But this is the one that everyone remembers. You remember the big games when everybody's watching. I mean, it was the only game on. It was the only NFL game on at this time. It was the playoffs, right? It's the end of somebody's season. Unfortunately, it was the end of the Charger season. But, yeah, most people aren't even aware of the Tampa game, unless you're a Charger fan or a Buccaneers fan. But people watched, man. People are excited about NFL playoffs. That was a complete embarrassing moment in front of everybody, in front of players in this league, in front of everybody.
Next one comes from AK999. Says second half issues eventually bit us in the ass. Our offense needs to be the main focus in the offseason. I agree. Wide receiver for me and tight end.
Hats off to AK. He almost predicted Ladd's game. He just didn't predict the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
He actually almost predicted. I think it's at 216 yards for Ladd, right? I mean, it was like he predicted some crazy game on Thursday for Ladd, and he was really close. He just got the score wrong.
Next one comes from our friend Leah Smith. She says, who do you guys want to see in the Super Bowl at this point? And have a great rest of your weekend, my friends. Anybody but the Chiefs, honestly. And Dave and I have a close family friend who's not doing very well. And he's a diehard Vikings fan. So I'd like for the Vikings to win just for him.
Lions Bills would be fun.
For you, Mario, anybody but the Packers and Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, if it's Packers Chiefs in the Super Bowl, that's my personal hell. I don't think I'd even watch the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
You would watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Come on.
I'd watch it.
You know what's crazy, man? Maybe it's the wrong time to even bring it up, but I'm gonna bring it up, Cal. It's the last game show we're doing for the season. I mean, we all know the phrase like "win one for the Gipper," right? And the whole deal. And you know, somebody gets hurt or somebody gets sick on your team, and you go out and there's motivation. There are high school teams that do it, college teams, pro teams. I mean, good God, Los Angeles went through a week of hell and devastation, and you're seeing the LA Strong shirts and gear being sold, and everybody knows what's going on in Los Angeles. I mean, what happened to winning one for the people in Los Angeles Chargers? Good Lord, man, just one time. You know, holy cow, what an embarrassment.
Yeah, like their week isn't already bad enough. Come on.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Joseph Levine says, I love Herbert, but I'm beginning to think he's too robotic. I get it. He's not working with much, but he needs to break away from the structure on his own, like Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar, etc. Couldn't agree more. We're going to see it throughout the playoffs. All these guys are going to make plays with their legs. Justin Herbert, for some reason, does not use his.
You think he's told not to use his?
I don't care what he's told. Mahomes is probably told not to take hits, but he does it anyway. Josh Allen probably is told, hey, but you need a slide. He does it anyway, and they win. I was talking to a Chiefs fan, unfortunately, this morning, and he said, this is what happens. Patrick Mahomes will do enough to win games during the regular season, but he won't use his legs. But then when the playoffs come, he starts running everywhere like he's Michael Vick. And I said, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what he does. And he's going to do it in the playoffs again. I wish Herbert would just run. Next one comes from Tim. What do you got?
Real quick. All right. So here's the deal. You would look at Justin Herbert compared to the other quarterbacks in this league, meaning that, you know, more often than not, they have time to make their reads. I'm looking at Justin Herbert today and really the entire season. It is not easy being an NFL quarterback, but I'm watching most of his plays this year. And I'm not making excuses for Justin Herbert. I'm saying it is extremely tough playing quarterback on the Chargers with the three guys in front of you are your weakest point. I mean, at one point, there was a complete missed block. He got sacked on 2 straight plays in the fourth quarter, and you're just going, man, this guy's just taking a beating. But if you watch Justin Herbert, Greg Cosell did a breakdown of him before the game, and he was showing how he's trying to get the ball to, let's say, Ladd or QJ, whoever. And literally the biggest, toughest guys are in a yard of him before they even make the break. And he's still trying to make the throw. And he did make the throw a lot of times this year. But, man, the interior offensive line is so bad. I mean, horribly bad, where we talk about fixing it and stuff that you probably won't be able to fix in the draft right away, that this is where free agent money is going to have to go to get veterans. But it's tough to do your job when you got guys coming in your face every single game. You know, it's tough. Pause.
Yeah.
God, dude.
I mean, yeah. Do you want to put it? Tee us up better.
Well, you guys are sickos, all right, dude. You guys are sickos. If there's any show to start drinking on, it's this one right now.
Oh,
I'm not. What do you think's in here? You think it's coffee?
Tosh keeps blowing in it like it's coffee, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like coughing a ton.
Just gotta blow on the tequila.
I just made like a goal. Like I'm not drinking until like after the Super Bowl, and I was literally watching this game, and I was just like, what a sucky time to choose that. I have like a really nice thing of whiskey like right to my left too. And I was just like, mother of Christ almighty.
Yeah, I want to get tanked right now. Tim,
Yeah.
$10 says the most painful thing about this loss is deep down, I believe we were going to the Super Bowl this year. Well, that's your fault. And shock the world with an easy schedule. Jim Harbaugh, great defense for me. This is worse than Jacksonville. Tim, for goodness sakes, like we're all Charger fans here. This is a safe space. You didn't actually think the Chargers are going to make the Super Bowl this year. Come on. Between us. Nobody else is listening. It's just us right here. Come on, Tim. You're better than that, right? Did you guys actually think the Chargers are going to make the Super Bowl this year? I thought one win. I thought Houston.
I thought they could beat the Chiefs in the second round.
I did too.
And then beat the Ravens and Bills?
No, I thought we'd get dog walked by either. I thought they would murder us. I thought Buffalo was a kiss of death. I hate the way we'd match up against Buffalo. I hate it.
Yeah, Ravens aren't good for us either. Ryan says, gents, thank you for making this season a blast. Dude, this was the most fun I've had as a Charger fan during the season, talking after every game, hanging out. I don't know how you guys feel.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
I loved it.
You sexy bastard.
Quevin says, no comment, just donating $2. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Quevin.
Dude, I suck at pronouncing things. I don't know how to pronounce this. Do you guys want to take a shot? Thwan win. Thwan. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Thwan win. Why this always happens to us, the inconsistency. Disley and QJ good 1 week and Butterfingers the next when it really matters the most. Greg Roman needs to go. He is inconsistent as well. Love y'all. Thank you. Okay, I got a question. Who you guys more upset with today? Will Disley or QJ?
Disley. Oh.
QJ. Oh. I go and all right, I'll give you my reason, Mario. You give me your reason. But my reason is Disley's done a lot more than he was signed on for. He was signed on to be a blocking tight end. I mean, all of a sudden he's a receiving tight end. And so, yeah, today he had an absolutely horrible game. QJ's had a bunch of horrible games. You know, we can literally count in one hand the games where QJ, we thought, earned his check. So frustrated with QJ on the very last pass that was thrown to him. It was the biggest, like, dude, this game's over. So guess what? I'm not taking one more hit. It was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Like I literally screamed the P word at the TV.
I told a lot of people, and I bet Disley over 3.5 receptions. If he would have caught all those balls, he would have had it.
Does it count that the other guys
make
caught
an argument?
The ones that he touched?
Yeah, you can make the argument his first drop was one of the biggest turning points in the whole game. Okay. Yep. You guys probably going to like my answer here. Alana Moore says, bringing this here since we're talking about it in the comments, do y'all think the fires distracted a lot of the players in this game? They seemed off. No, I don't. Do you guys feel that the fires distracted the players?
You know, I don't know if it did. I saw it more, you kind of mentioned it as like a battle cry a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're playing for something bigger this week. That's the way I was kind of feeling this out, especially with, like you said, Dave, with the LA FD hats going on and everything. And, you know, everyone, please do your best to support in any way you can with the fires. But I thought that's the direction I was going. We're like, hey, we're playing for, you know, something bigger than just us this week.
You know, and I think she brings up a great point. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not looking for an excuse here. I mean, again, you lost by 20, but you're hearing some crazy stories, right? I mean, we all know by now, you know, of either celebrities or athletes the head coach of the Lakers, his house burned to the ground. It's not just you. It's not like, let's say the three of us go, oh man, my house burned to the ground. That sucks. Dude, when you have a family, it's completely different because you literally have to go about your job. You know, and we always say, you know, family comes first over everything. But when you're sitting there saying your wife and your kids are now, you know, disheveled, that's where your concern is a lot of times. So I don't want to say I'm giving an excuse for the Chargers. I know in 2 years we aren't going to even remember the fires when we talk about why the Chargers lost today. It's just going to be the Chargers lost. But man, when you're hearing stories just from the Rams, that players literally running off the practice field and driving in their cleats to go pick up their wife and kids who are in the middle of a fire. That's crazy, man. That's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be a factor, but was everybody distracted? Because everybody kind of sucked. You know what I mean?
It was. Yeah, I don't know. It's
you know what I mean?
It's an interesting point. I just don't know.
I just don't want to say that's like a reason why, but you never know.
Okay.
Leah says, I'll be praying for
nobody
your
wants
family
to
friend.
excuses.
It's now. Yeah. Leah's saying, I'll be praying for your family friend. It's now go Vikings. Appreciate that. It's one of my dad's closest friends, and it's not looking good.
Can I share this
All
story real fast? I know we have more comments. I'm gonna share it real quick because
Go ahead.
as Josh said, my one of my closest friends, maybe my closest friend in San Diego, since we basically our family friends, meaning he had 2 sons, I had 2 sons, grew up together. We coached a million baseball teams together, extremely sick, stage 4 cancer. He's made it further than we thought he would. I'm trying to put this in the right terms, but when Josh got married in August, he couldn't do a shot, but he got all of us together to do a shot. And right before the season began, he goes, all right, everybody raised their glass, and he just goes to Sam Darnold. And we all did a shot, and we laughed, and we're like, nobody does a shot to Sam Darnold. And then the Vikings have had this crazy year. And so last Sunday, I know I'm not giving too much info. I'm not saying anything his family would want me to say, but literally he said Sunday, he goes, today's the day I'm gonna die. And he asked for all of his brothers and Josh, me, my wife, and his closest friends to come be with him because he said today's the day. We're lucky he's with us right now. Honestly, I think he's holding on for that Vikes Rams game on Monday. But this is the end. This is the last few days, and he's a big time Viking fan. And so anyone who knows Brian, who was never a Vikings fan before, everybody's been rooting for the Vikes like crazy for him because it's the big thing that he's looking forward to. So I appreciate the very nice comments, Leah. That's very nice.
Legend.
AK 499 says, I said lad 8 catches, 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. Crazy close. I mean, you're very close.
Yeah, you did really good. You suck on the scoreboard part, but you did great on lad.
Yeah. Quevin $5 says, okay, serious question. Knowing the outcome of this game now, would you guys have preferred playing the Bills or Ravens instead of the Texans? Dude, honest to God, if it would have been the Bills or Ravens, it would be 50-0. Like, that's really how I feel. Like, I thought the Texans were so damn bad, Mario, at the beginning that they kind of let us off the hook.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me change this question though. All right. Would it be easier right now if you lost to the Bills or Ravens by 20 than losing to the Texans by 20? What would be easier doing this show and how your gut feels, right? It's easier to live
because
with.
you wouldn't have been favored in those games.
That's
this one
true.
we're supposed to win.
Good point.
Yeah, it's also like knowing the outcome of this game, would you guys have preferred playing the 2-time MVP or the guy that will probably win MVP this year instead of the guy that's having a bad sophomore year drop off? And it's like, I'll still take the sophomore year drop off,
Yeah.
I mean, if we played in the snow, like we're playing Buffalo, and you're playing in the snow, would you have felt better?
Hell no.
By the way, is it an advantage in the snow?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to direct it to Mario because he's been in the snow more. Is it an advantage in the snow to wear the all-white uniforms or wear a uniform that has a colored jersey on it?
Color jersey every time. Every time.
I think the other way. I think
really,
if you're a defense and you're in all-white and it's snowing, because look, as an offensive guy, you know where the guy's running the routes. Doesn't matter what color jersey he's wearing. But if you're on defense and you're wearing all white and that guy's throwing the ball, it's like a ghost. We talk about it all the time. I see ghosts. I didn't even see that guy. He's wearing all white. The helmet's white. And now all of a sudden he was there. I just didn't see him.
If you want to hear something like funny just about that, when in college we had to play a game in a snowstorm, and they made it. They're like, we have to play this game because it meant for conference, and we only had white balls. And boy, was it a tough one. Dude, that first quarter, we looked like kindergartens out there, dude. No pass was caught. They sent like some trainer went out and got like 5 orange balls. And we're like, we're playing with orange balls today. Because it was, I remember running in and like I heard someone go, Heron, you're hot left. And I yelled out, where the gets the ball? I was like, I have no idea who has the ball.
I'd be like, don't pass it to me. I can't see it.
Oh, I did everything I could to avoid the ball. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got one more question. This isn't in the chat, but we got 2 more chats. But real quick, where was Stone Smart? Like, he's nowhere to be found.
He was the guy not picking up the block on the defensive end when Herbert got slammed into the dirt. He was a guy that
Oh,
just
God.
released, never chipped.
Okay. Ryan says, just because I'm a sexy bee, thanks, my gents, for the $5. Not expecting the Super Bowl, but dang, I wanted that first win and maybe take out Kansas City. This is year one, but gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to split
Yeah.
with KC next year. I mean, my God.
Have to. Ricardo, $5 says, quick question. What position to prioritize on the draft? And should we try to get DK Metcalf or nah? I'm out on DK Metcalf. I'm all in on Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins if he's available. I'd rather have DK than Tyreek, but I don't really want DK or Tyreek. DK Metcalf hurts the team so many times, Mario, by just being a complete idiot that I don't think I could deal with that as a fan.
And expensive too. Very expensive.
Very expensive.
I would like to do as much as we can in the draft. There are a lot of good tight ends in this draft. I mean, there's no Brock Bowers, but a guy that we can.
Dude, how about the
on.
kid from freaking Penn State? Like the dude.
I told you about that guy.
Tight end. Dude, oh my God, he's a beast.
Yeah.
I want him. Yeah,
boy, does he show up to every football camp?
Yeah, he shows up.
Who's this hick? Oh,
yeah, straight out of Virginia. Any closing remarks before we get out of here?
Go ahead, Mario.
I got nothing. I was trying to think of something creative, and I got nothing.
I mean, it's been, look, I'll say this. It's for all three of us. It's been a really fun season, right? Meaning that between the comments and the people that are following all the shows and everything, it's been a really fun season. 11-6, a lot better than where we were a year ago, right? Talking about what are we going to do? And then we had the excitement that they hired Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh lived up to the hype. He straight out did. I mean, 11-6, he lived up to the hype. And how many times do we talk about, players playing up to their contract? He proved Dean Spanos, hey, it was worth the money. It was worth it that you had the new fans that came in, that they were a big topic of conversation. There's a lot of work to be done. We thought that really in the middle of the season. There's a lot of work to be done when this season's over. Today, basically, it shined. It shined in everything we thought of saying, this is what we need. And there are a lot of holes on this team. You're going to see a lot of names that you're familiar with, and don't fall in love with players, especially players that don't do their job. And when those guys are let go, we're going to be better for it. And so overall, though, from just doing the show, man, I loved every minute of it, every single week. It was a good time. It was a really good time.
I love talking with all the people that watch this show and Mario and Dave throughout the season. We'll be back on Tuesday, so it's not like it's over. But these post-game shows for me were the highlight of the season. I think they're definitely the most fun.
Yeah, I look forward to doing this show every single day. It's my favorite thing to do, and I have to do a live editing, and I hate editing more than anything in this world. But this is the only show where I kind of enjoy it because I have a good time doing it, good time prepping it. Thank you guys all for listening. We love you. And my name's not Mario Palais, so for someone saying that's the I can't say that. That's a very funny line. It's Mario Herring.
Jesus, Dan. Let's clean it up. Come on,
yeah,
it's 2025.
God, Dan. Yeah, that's not funny.
Good Lord.
God, he lost my train of thought. No, but thanks everyone for listening. We love you guys. Wouldn't be here without you guys. Please share, subscribe, and stay with us this offseason. Lots of important stuff's gonna happen this offseason. Drafts around the corner, and there's still playoff football, and we'll keep doing pods. So tune in. Like Dave says, our offseason pods get funnier. So.
Oh, they do. We got a lot. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. All right, so we're still back on Monday and Tuesday. Again, there's a bet that still needs to be paid off. Make sure you stay with us. Right now, we're close to the 3,000 subscribers. Hopefully, we pass that number today. And as we get things going and get things rolling, we do want to have a kind of show where we have regular giveaways and reward the audience for basically being with us. But everybody's been great the entire fall season. So we look forward to the draft. We'll be talking a lot of NFL like we always do, but we'll go back to 2 shows a week. Mondays and Tuesdays at 1:00 is the plan. Otherwise, we'll try and let you know. Please follow us on social media so you're up to date as well. If you subscribe to the show, you'll know exactly when the shows start. But I just want to thank everybody again. Otherwise, we'll get out of here and watch other teams that still have a chance to win the Super Bowl. All right. Damn it. Chargers lose today, 32-12. For Mario Herron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you Tuesday at 1:00. Take care.